Hey everybody. So this is going to be an interesting one. As I was doing, let me grab it. As I was doing this pauldron for for that one of the other projects I was doing, someone asked me to do if I do a dual sided, so a two shoulder pauldron setup, and I didn't at the time. So I figured, along with the that harness that goes along with this, the shoulder piece, I was asked about doing for both sides. So since I didn't have one of those, I decided to do something similar and and do something a little bit different. So here is the neck piece that goes around the neck, and these are all shaped after the maple leaf. So let's see if I have an example here. Yeah, so the maple leaf. This is what is the shape I've been using to build this out. So it has the maple leaf design around the neck. The neck size is 18 inches. Okay, so this one is for 18-inch neck. If you're a little bit smaller, 17 and a half, 16, this is still going to work just fine. I have a smaller version that is just under 15 inches. It'll work for people with smaller necks or ladies with petite necks. I'm not a petite guy, so I have a bigger neck. So I made this. This one's going to be for my size. But yeah, so I have the main piece that goes over the shoulders here, holes here for laces. I have a collar that's going to go around with accents, pieces of more leaves, and then I have the shoulder pauldrons. So I have one for each side, and I have places to attach these two. Once you cut it out and stitch it up so it's has that curve to it, so it curves over the shoulder. There's some attachment places, and then also there's a big arrow here. But on the pattern, I let you know that there's a couple different ways to attach the pauldron to your arm. So you can do laces, or you can do a piece of leather here that you can run a strap with a buckle. And I'll probably do one side with laces, one side with a buckle, just so you see what I'm talking about and how that works. But here's the cutout with some lines for tooling. I've been doing a lot of that with these pieces here. So cutting it out, tooling like the little veins here has been just some of the pieces I've been working on for the belts and for the bags and dice bags and all this kind of stuff. So the leaves that I'm using and I've been cutting out are all from the same vector image that I use in Illustrator and then print and then cut out. So they're all going to match. So if you want to use this along with one of the bracers that use the leaves, or the belts and skirt hikes, also called skirt hike, or potion bottles, all of them use this same shape, same maple leaf shape. Some of them are oak leaf, and some of them are just a generic leaf shape. So I have the different kinds here, but getting back to this, this one I've done with the maple leaf. So it's gonna have the neck piece, collar with some accent pieces, and then the two pauldrons, two shoulder pauldrons on the side. And I'm using I'm gonna use the same green that I used on this one, this pauldron. So it's a really nice green. It has some nice, it lets you tool on it pretty nicely. Has some softness to it, but it's like a 6-ounce leather. So that's what I'm going to be using for this one as well. I'll probably do a smaller version, the 15-inch neck, just so you can see that one as well. But it might be at a later date. I'm not sure how long this is going to take me. So I'm going to start cutting out the leather pieces so I can tape these to it and start punching holes and whatnot. So once I get that done and the pieces cut out, I'll take it from there and show you the progress on it. All right, be back in a second. One thing I did want to also mention before we get too far, these are labeled so you know what gets attached to what. So the 2s go together, the 1s go together, obviously. But in case you're wondering what those were for, it's just to help keep track of where things go. Okay, be back in a second. Hey everybody, so I just wanted to reiterate a couple things and show you on some of the patterns. It might seem like I'm rambling, but I wanted to be really clear on this. So in the pattern, they're designated by the size. So there's a whole set for the small, a whole bunch for the medium large, and then size for the large, extra large, and that has the measurements. So this large is about 20.4 inch neck size. Also, when I was talking about adjusting the holes on parts of the pattern, I have little notes on all the different sizes explaining things like moving the holes, hole placement for adjusting to your size and your shoulder width. So be aware of these little notes that are all over in the pattern, giving some more explanation on how to customize this for the different size person and pattern. Okay. All right, great. Let's keep going. Hey everybody. So in that last clip, I showed you the larger version of this, and I still have all those pieces to cut out, but I started with the smaller version of this. So this has the 15-inch neck. The circumference from the neck here. This is the smaller size neck piece, slightly smaller pauldrons and collar and stuff like that. But I wanted to show you kind of the progress and kind of where it's at and what the next steps are. So yeah, went ahead and cut out everything, got the holes punched. Same thing with the pauldrons here, the shoulder pieces. Have those cut out. I have the little pieces that go behind the stitching, so to give it a little bit of strength, give it a little bit of form as well as it curves. So and I have the collar piece here. Let me just go ahead and take off all the patterns. But this piece here is going to go on the back where those 4 rivet holes are, just as an accent piece, around the collar. I was thinking as I punch this out, maybe a darker green or a slightly different colored green would be cool for that. I might do that just for so it looks interesting. But let's pull these off here and show you. So I have the neck piece, got the pauldrons. These are nice. They're going to curve like that as you stitch them. So it's a nice curve around the shoulder. But yeah, I think it's going to be nice. I'm going to start on, once I get all these off here, I'm going to go ahead and start on the pauldrons, the shoulder pieces here, and getting them stitched, with this underneath, kind of like that, and that'll be stitched together. Okay, so no, actually what I'm going to do is get the tooling done. So you notice on the pattern, these lines here, I need, before stitching, because it'll be much easier right now, is to get the tooling, or, you know, mark it, and, you know, using swivel knife, you know, the styluses for making those marks is what I'm going to be using, and then some of the, you know, the hammer tools to give it more shape. So tooling first, you know, getting those marks on there, and then I'll start with get the stitching on here and here, and then work on getting the collar stitched to here. One piece of advice, if you're worried about this, you can go ahead and work, you know, as because these are fairly stiff pieces, working that leather up on the curve like that, so that it's a little bit softer, a little bit more pliable, so that when you go to do the stitching, you know, it's going to be easier to work it, work the needles and get it that shape around the collar. So that's another little tip, is just working that leather to the shape you want, so that it's not too hard when you're stitching. Because if it's too hard in the stitching, you might have gaps as you tighten the string. You know, as you're trying to tighten this thing around. Yeah, it's a little easier just to work the form and before the stitching. So I'm going to go going on the other stuff. I also need to put some grommets here for the lacing. Okay, I'll be back in a second and show you progress. Bye. Hey guys, so I got the 2 shoulder pieces done, and I wanted to show you the inside. So I put the reinforced piece here on the inside. Let me show you one of my other pieces. Hold on. Yeah, like I was saying, one of the other pauldrons or shoulder armor that I did, that's available there in my Etsy, is this one. And this one actually would work with the gorget or the neck piece, just because there's a couple different ways there with the rivets to attach. But yeah, this one I put the reinforced on the outside, so it looks almost like the leaf stem or leaf vein. I put on this one as well. But for this piece that I'm doing, I put it on the inside. I kind of wanted to hide it so that wasn't so obvious. But if you want to put this on the outside like the other piece I did, feel free. Totally up to you, depending on the look you're going for. In the patterns, let me grab one of the other ones here. So in the patterns, you'll notice there's various holes here, and these are for options. I think I mentioned it before. There's options on how to attach it to your arm, and so you can do it this way with grommets, or just leave the holes and do lacing, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to put some grommets in here and then use lacing to hold it to the arm. But if you needed to, and I'll have this in the pattern as well, if you options for putting the holes lower down or higher up, and then also same up here, these holes, if you need them closer or a little bit farther behind, depending on where it's going to attach to the, here's this piece. So it depends on where it attaches here. And this also will have, in the pattern you get, will have holes, optional holes. You don't have to, closer, so that depending on where you want this to, if you want to sit further out, closer up, how it's going to sit on your shoulder, depending on your size, of course, right? So also, if you don't want to use rivets here, you could use Chicago screws like I've done in some of my other patterns so that you can remove these, or even snaps if you wanted to put snaps in here, so that it just snaps on, snaps off, easy to put on, and it's not permanent. That's another great option. So this attachment to the neck piece really is customizable depending on how you need it to fit on your body. Okay, and that goes the same. This is the smaller piece, like I said before. The larger piece is going to be the same way. So just wanted to show you that. I did curl up the little tips here just to give it a little bit more of a kind of a leaf look. Before I'm done though, I will take my little handy dandy Dremel and just kind of clean up the edges. Clean up the edges here before it's done. And that just gives it a little bit more of a professional look. Okay, so next is the collar piece. And there's a couple ways, like I was telling you before. This can either go under, like that, where the collar goes under the main piece. You can go over the top, like that, or you can actually kind of butt it up against each other, like that. That one's probably, I don't know, depending on your experience, that might be a little bit harder, especially because I didn't make an under piece like this to go, between here, between those two pieces, right? So what I'm going to be doing, just because I don't want it too tight, because if I put this on the inside, it's going to reduce the circumference, for the neck size. So I want to make sure this is available for enough people, size-wise. So I'm going to go on the outside like that. I'm going to start here, line that up, and work my way around. Again, if I've said this before, these little guys right here, these little stitch keepers, I'm going to use those as I put this around. And so I'm going to count the holes here. So, I count like 20 holes, and then I count 20 holes here, and then I line them up and just push those together. And then I make sure I keep track all the way around to make sure I'm not missing any holes, or I skip holes, or, I misalign anything. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and start with that, get things lined up. And this is going to be going on the outside like that. And like I said before, if you just work that leather upward, so it's a little bit more flexible, pliable, and easier to stitch in the long run. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. And also at some point I need to get the grommets. These are 1/4 inch holes, and these ones here are 3/16. Again, totally up to you. If you want to make these 1/4 inch grommets, if that's what you have on hand, do it. And again, if you want to make these smaller because you have 3/16 grommets, go for it. Just, you keep track of everything, right? Okay, so I'm going to get started on that before I start putting everything together. All right, see you in a minute. Okay, so I wanted to just kind of show you what I was talking about with the stitch keepers. So I started already, the stitch line with the collar on the outside of the stitch. But I have these, oops, sorry about that. I have these in place. I counted on the outside, counted on the inside, and make sure these lined up. And then I did the same thing on this side. So I know that all the holes are accounted for. And as I go, I'll stitch up to here like I did, take this out, stitch up to here, take that out, and then continue. Okay, so I didn't go all the way around, but I did get both sides and kind of line things up visually to make sure that I can see that all the holes are going to line up right there, right? So I'm going to go ahead and continue yeah, I'm just gonna stitch all this all the way around. And it's just from, you know, placing it like that, it looks pretty good. It's gonna look pretty cool, especially with the grommets here and some leather lacing, some brown leather lacing. It's gonna look nice. Okay, let me finish this up and I'll show you. Okay, so here we go. Got the stitching done all the way around. Has a nice shape, and if you're wondering about that, is because this has a curve. These two curves are here on the left and the right. These are going to be for the shoulders, and then the dips down in the middle and the back. And so because the collar was that shape, it automatically gives this a nice, you know, shoulder shape. So it just naturally is going to take that form as you stitch it. Okay, so there's the back. Nice maple leaf designs going on, motif. The collar is going to sit really nice. And I also got the grommets in there with the lace. Yeah, so I just need to get the shoulder pieces put on like that and like that. And I think I'm going to probably take my own advice and probably use some Chicago screws instead of rivets, just so I can take them on and off and store them easier if I need to. But yeah, I definitely like how it turned out. Yeah, for a this is the small size. I'm gonna make a larger one for I think it was 17 to 18 inch neck. I think is what I calculated it to be. So this one is 15, but because I brought it up a little bit, you could probably get a 15.5 inch neck in there, maybe 16 possibly. I'd have to measure it, but yeah, I like it. Yeah, okay. Get this on and put together and hopefully get one of my kids to model this. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, guys, here's the this is the 18-inch neck. So this is like the medium large. The small one is the small one I showed you, and then I have there's an XLarge with a 20.4 inch neck that's available in the pattern. But yeah, they came out nice. The using the little laces here to the arm makes it easy to, lightweight. You're not too encumbered. Like I mentioned though in the pattern, if you want to use those straps here instead, totally do that, or adjust the position of these holes, or use something like other mechanism, feel free to do so. But yeah, it came out nice. The collar here, it's not too pointy, it's not too stiff where it's gonna hurt somebody if they lean their neck over. So yeah, I think it came out nice. If you have any questions, let me know on the sizing or the template. Contact me on Instagram or Facebook, Etsy, any of those platforms, and I'd love to help you out. Again, this is the medium to large size. I'll include some pictures of the smaller size and some more pictures of the template so you can see what's available. Otherwise, good luck and send me pics of how yours turned out. All right, thanks. Bye.